would like to present linguistic analysis of the two couplets of Shah Abdul Bhit, and those two couplets are from Surah Aasa, Melody of Hope. And these two couplets are very much rich, not only in form but in thought too. First couplet is Dekhinde Didar ke kul sunyato keen. Dekhinde Didar ke kul sunyato keen. Tari tavelan mein aaye ahato zeen. Ahin je ameen se saba hadib. Dekhinde Didar ke. Those who were seeing the beloved are seeing anything. They did not see the things completely. They are seeing, they are watching partially. And if the horses are in the stables, they run to the extent wheresoever you take them and ride them. And those people who feel themselves at just for them, they declare and decide for everything themselves. Shah Abdul Latif, this is Shah Abdul Latif's mystical diction, where linguistic form reinforces Sufi meaning and linguistic vibration. Shah Abdul Latif Bhit's language combines native Sindhi vocabulary, Perso Arabic lexicon, and symbolic imagery, creating multiple layers of interpretation. His poetry is also characterized by the integration of dialectal forms from different regions of Sindh, which contributes to its linguistic richness. Firstly, lexical analysis. Lexically, if we are looking at the terms used by Bhit, Dekhinde Didar Kul Sunato Tazi Tavela Ahato Zeen Amin Hisab. Dekhinde is native Sindhi, present participle and verb continuous act of seeing, and Didar is Persian and noun. Kul is Arabic, it is quantifier, and entire is Sunyato is Sindhi. Tazi is adjective and is Persian for swift, harsh. Tawil is Arabic, Ahato is Arabic, Zeen is Persian, and Amin is Arabic, and Hisab is Arabic. However, he has used these terms and these words in a way that they seem like the original native Sindhi words. It is Bhit's way of using it. The vocabulary reflects Latif's characteristic synthetic of Sindhi grammar with Persian and Arabic mystical terminology, a hallmark of classical Sindhi Sufi poetry. Then we touch to the morphological analysis of this breath. Dekhinde. Dekhinde, discern, its root is to see. Progressive participle suffix inde, dekhinde, indicates an ongoing spiritual perception rather than a completed action. Sunyato. Sunyato is past participle, and sunyana is to recognize. Implies realization through inner recognition rather than sensory knowledge. Morphological जेको तजियो आहे हिनखे जिससे देखींदे देखण मां आहे. हाणे देखण सिंधीअ जो बि न आहे, सराइकीअ जो आहे, ऐं देखण, ॾिसण, ॾेख, ॾिख, इहे सभु हिन मां आहिनि. त हिन जी जेका आहे सा उहा हिकिड़ी रूहानी इदराक आहे जेको जंहिंखे देखींदे ज़ाहिर करे थो. सुञातो, रिकग्नाइज़्ड, सुञाणण मां निकितो आहे. हदी विया, हॼण, कंहिं शइ जो कंहिं शइ में खपण, ख़तम थियण, गुम थियण, हलियो वञण, ये सभुनि जूं मानाऊं. So hadivya means it is a compound verbal construction, and hadivya means disappeared, dissolved, expresses irreversible completion. And then syntactic structure. Sarfiyati जोड़जक. First line, देखींदे दीदार खे कुल सुञातो कीन. Its structure is adverbial participle class plus object plus subject plus negative predicate. Zarfi फाइलियाती क्लास, मफूल, फाइल and नाकारी predicate. देखींदे while seeing, दीदार खे object, कुल subject, सुञातो did not recognize, meaning although everyone looked upon the didar, divine vision, no one truly recognized it completely. The contrast between the physical seeing and spiritual recognition is embedded in the syntax itself. Second line, Tazi tavelan mein aha to zi. Many people have written about it that this couplet is still yet to be paraphrased, and they are confused also that what is it. And I think that when they say that Tazi tavelan mein aaya atozin, it means the fast Arabic horses on stables. However, their examination or their testing is harnessing them. Wheresoever you will take them, they will reach there. So your potential or your that enthusiasm is just like Tazi horses. So it's a structure. If we are seeing locative phrase plus copula, predicate noun, the sentence emphasize enclosure. Fine horses remain enclosed within their saddles. However, it can be said that they are tested after harnessing them, after putting saddles on them, that how, what type of distance they are running through. And metaphor suggests the movement in the vibrancy of life. If great potential that is stationary, it is of no use. When it will be utilized, then it will give the results accordingly. Third line, ahin je ameen se hisab hadija. Conditional relative structure, ahin je, those who are, ameen, trustworthy, they say hisab hadija, their accounts disappeared. The sentence safeguards spiritual qualification before divine forward. Semantic analysis. The verse developed three semantic levels. Literal, people see horses are equipped with saddles. Honest people do their own personal or auto or self accountability. And symbolic is Didar is divine reality, to see the reality. Tazi tavelan mein, it mentions your great own potential or human body or ego or worldly power. Zeen, it means harnessing our equipments. Amin, those who are trustworthy and spiritually purified seeker. Hisab, day of judgment, are some type of reckoning point. Mystical, the verse contrasts sensory perception versus spiritual insight, external movement versus inward liberation, worldly preparation versus divine freedom. Stylistic features, antithesis, Shah Abdul Latif contrasts Didar versus Sunyanan. Seeing does not guarantee knowing. It is the great characteristic of Shah Latif's poetry that he is not focusing merely on seeing. He takes it a step ahead and he thinks about uh, recognizing it. Metaphor, horse and saddle symbolize body and its equipment, power and limitations, worldly prestige and spiritual imprisonment. Symbolism. Didar is a symbol for divine presence or presence of the beloved, and Zeen is material equipment. Ghodo is potential or great power within oneself. Amin, preferable, perfect believer or trustworthy, and Asa means divine accountability or personal accountability. Parallelism. The first two lines describe the condition of ordinary humanity. The third line presents the exceptional case. Those who become spiritually trustworthy transcend ordinary reckoning. Pragmatic analysis of this couplet is the implied message is indirect. Shah Latif never explicitly says that don't remain attached to the worldly life. Instead, he communicates it through metaphor, allowing readers to infer the spiritual lesson. This indirectness is characteristic of Sufi discourse. Cognitive linguistic analysis. The verse relies on conceptual metaphors. Seeing is not knowing. Seeing is not knowing. The body is a mount. The world is a saddle. Our equipments are the bag and baggage. Spiritual purity is trustworthiness. Salvation is freedom from accounting. These mappings enable concrete images to express abstract mystical ideas. Phonological features. The verse exhibits several sound devices. Repetition of the dekhin de didar, amin, keen, zeen, its assimilation, and Sindhi is a very unique type of alliteration, and that is alliteration of phonology. All the other language, all the other Eastern languages use first letter for alliteration. However, Sindhi uses uh, phonological tone for it. Discourse analysis. The discourse progresses through three stages. Observation. Everyone sees the beloved. Everyone enjoys the didar. Diagnosis. External excellence remains confined by worldly limitations or requirements, and resolution. Only the spiritually trustworthy transcend judgment. Thus, the progression is perception, limitation, and liberation. And overall, linguistic significance of this couplet is very much beautiful. The Bhit exemplifies Shah Abdul Latif's linguistic artistry through integration of Sindhi, Persian, and Arabic vocabulary, predominance of verbal process over static description, emphasizing spiritual journey, extended use of metaphor and symbolism rooted in everyday Sindhi life, a syntactic movement from external observation to inner realization, lexical choices that reinforce Sufi concepts such as Didar, Amin, and Hisab. From a linguistic perspective, a verse demonstrates how Shah Abdul Latif transforms ordinary pastoral language, ordinary common language of common people into a vehicle for mystical cognition, making concrete images, horses, saddles, seeing express profound metaphysical truths while preserving the natural rhythm and idiom of classical Sindhi. So this was all about this couplet. However, I would like to represent a few main points of this discussion in Sindhi too, as a native Sindhi can understand it. देखींदे दीदार खे कीन सुञातो कुल ताज़ी तवेलन में आए कुल सुञातो कीन ताज़ी तवेलन में आए हाथो ज़ीन आहिनि जे अमीन से हिसाब में हदी विया हिन जो असीं लिसानियाती जेकॾहिं छेद करियूं था त हिन में शाह अब्दुल लतीफ़ भिटाई अहिड़ा लफ़्ज़ अहिड़नि ख़ूबसूरत तसवुरनि लाइ कमु आंदा आहिनि जो सिंधी अरबी फारसी ॿोलियुनि जा लफ़्ज़ पाण में मिली हिकिड़े सिंधी ख़्याल खे सिंधी वेस ॾिनो अथनि ऐं उनजो जेकॾहिं लफ़्ज़ी छेद कजे थो त देखींदे प्रेज़ेंट पार्टिसिपल आहे, दीदार इसम आहे, कुल बि इसम आहे, सुञातो परफेक्टिव वर्ब आहे ऐं ताज़ी सिफ़त आहे, तवील इन नमूने सां इहे सभई जेके हिन जो एक्सकेल वरी हिन जो मार्फोलॉजिकल छेद जे कयूं था त देखींदे सुञातो देखींदे प्रोग्रेसिव पार्टिसिपल सफिक्स हुनजी वरी ईंदे आहे देख देखींदे सुञातो सुञाणण हॼण हॼी विया ऐं हुनजी सर्फी बनावत खे ॾिसजे देखींदे दीदार खे कुल सुञातो कीन। हाणे हिन बैत जे लाइ मुख़्तलिफ़ रिसालनि में इहो लिखियलु आहे त हिन ते अञा वधीक गौर करण जी ज़रूरत आहे हिन में जेका विच वारी लाइन आहे त ताज़ी तवेलनि में आहे आतो ज़ीन उन जे मतिलब में माण्हू मुंझी था पवनि जॾहिं त उन लाइ ईअं आहे त घोड़ो बि माण्हू जी हरकत मूवमेंट जे लाइ वसीले तौरु इस्तेमालु थिए थो पर तबेले में बीठल घोड़े जी का बि अहमियत न आहे ख़बर न आहे जेसि ताईं उन ते ज़ीन विझबी न मथे साजाम न विझबा संज न विझबा तेसि ताईं ख़बर घोड़े जी न पवंदी त माण्हू पंहिंजे नफ़्स ते पंहिंजो जेको अंदरि आहे जेको ईगो आहे जेको पोटेंशियल आहे उनखे जेसि ताईं आज़माए नथो जेसि ताईं वठी नथो वञे तेसि ताईं ख़बर न पवंदी पर जेके अमीन आहिनि ऐं पंहिंजो पाण ते फ़ैसिलो कनि था रखनि था उहे इन पंहिंजे ई हिसाब में ख़ुदि एहतसाबी में हली वञनि था हिन में लफ़्ज़ी माना जेकॾहिं आहे त टे लाइनूं आहिनि टिनी लाइनुनि में पहिरीं लाइन में दीदार जी ॻाल्हि आहे पर उहो दीदार कुली न आहे दीदार जुज़वी आहे ॿी लाइन में जोहर जी ॻाल्हि आहे उहो जोहर जेको हरकत करे सघे थो पर हरकत तॾहिं कंदो जॾहिं हुनखे तयारु करे उन मथे साजाम विझी हुनखे रवानो कबो ऐं टी लाइन उन्हनि आला क़िस्म जे माण्हुनि जी आहे जेके पंहिंजे ई पाण ख़ुदि एहतसाबीअ में हली वञनि था हिन में अलामती इज़हार बि आहे हिन में सूफ़ियाणो इज़हार बि आहे ऐं हिन में हिकिड़ो शाह लतीफ़ जो पंहिंजो हिकिड़ो स्टाइल आहे चवण जो उनजी बि ख़ूबी आहे ऐं उन सां गॾोगॾु हिन में तशबीहूं बि आहिनि जिस्म जी तशबीह बि आहे त रूह जी बि आहे ऐं ताक़त जी बि आहे त माण्हू जे महदूदियत जी बि आहे ऐं दुनिया जी जेको मराहत आहिनि उनजी बि आहे त रूहानियत जी बि आहे केतिरियूं अलामतूं हिन में इस्तेमालु थियलूं आहिनि जीअं दीदार ख़ुदि अलामत आहे ज़ीन अलामत आहे घोड़ो अलामत आहे अमीन अलामत आहे हिसाब अलामत आहे त इहे सभु ओञाणनि ऐं भिटाई उन्हनि ओञाणनि वसीले पंहिंजे ख़्याल खे पेश करे थो दीदार हिकिड़ो वॾो लफ़्ज़ आहे जंहिंसां हर क़िस्म जे दीदार या ॾेख जो अहातो करे सघिजे थो हिकिड़े नंढड़े दीदार खां वठी वॾे दीदार ताईं घोड़ो बि चुरपुर हरकत वारो हरकत लाइ अचे थो जंहिं ते माण्हू चढ़ी वञनि था चढ़ी जो ज़रियो रहियो आहे बार बरदारी जो ज़रियो रहियो आहे घोड़ो इंसान जो साथारी रहियो आहे पर उन ते जॾहिं साजाम संज विझनि था उन खां पोइ उनजी ख़बर पवे थी त हिन में काफ़ी अहिड़ियूं शयूं आहिनि हिन जो अमलियती लिसानियाती जाइज़ो वठिजे थो त बि बिटाई एतिरो ख़ूबसूरतीअ सां हिन बैत खे बयानु कयो आहे ऐं हुनजो जेको कॉग्निटिव लिंग्विस्टिक एनालिसिस आहे या जामूटी लिसानियाती तजियो आहे उहो बि ॾाढो ख़ूबसूरत आहे त ॾिसणु ॼाणणु न आहे, ॾिसणु ॼाणणु न आहे ऐं जिस्म रुॻो कम जो न आहे जेसि ताईं उहो हले नथो का हरकत नथो करे ऐं दुनिया जो जेको बि सिंगार ऐं सामान आहे उहो ज़ीन वांगुरु आहे, हने वांगुरु आहे। रूहानी तज़कियो या रूहानी सफ़ाई जेका आहे उहा हिकु एतमाद जो नालो आहे, सदाकत जो नालो आहे ऐं छोटकारो उन हिसाब किताब मां छोटकारे जो नालो आहे। हिन जो सोतियाती आहंग बि ॾाढो सुठो आहे त हिन बैत जी ख़ूबसूरती आहे ॾाढी ऐं हिन जो लिसानियाती जाइज़ो बि ख़ूबसूरत आहे त मानवी सौती सर्फ़ी जामोटी ऐं बहसी रूहानी सभई पहलू इंतिहाई ख़ूबसूरत आहिनि। तव्हांजी महिरबानी, तव्हां ॿुधो ऐं वरी असां अञा हिकिड़ो हिन साॻे सुर जो जेको ॿियो बैत आहे उहो बि तव्हांजे अॻियां पेश कंदासूं पर हिन में हिन जो जे ओवरऑल असीं लिसानियाती अहमियत ॾिसूं था त भिटाई साहब ॻंढण वारो शाइर आहे। हलो हलो कोरीअ नाज़ुक जिनी जो नींहुं ॻंढियुनि सारो ॾींहुं छिनण मूर न सिखिया ज़ुबानुनि खे बि ॻंढे अचे थो, ख़्याल खे बि ॻंढे थो, दुनिया खे दीन खे ॻंढे थो, जिस्म ऐं रूह खे बि ॻंढे थो ऐं तशबीह ऐं अलामतुनि खे बि ॻंढे थो ऐं पंहिंजी ॻाल्हि करे वञे थो। ज़ुबानुनि खे ॻंढे ऐं पंहिंजी ॻाल्हि अहिड़ी करे थो जो माण्हुनि जी पंहिंजी ॻाल्हि लॻे थी। ॿियो बैत आहे वञी रस वञण खे वञण पुण विञाए लोकां पाण लिकाए लिकां पुण लिके लिकियां पुण लिकेज थो। ॾाढो ख़ूबसूरत बैत आहे त वञी रस वञण खे वञण पुण विञाए। This is one of Shah Abdul Latif Bhit's most profound mystical verse. Linguistically, it is remarkable for its repetition, lexical recursion, imperative constructions, ellipses, and semantic progression, all of which reinforce the Sufi doctrine of fana or annihilation of self. Shah Latif's language characteristically combines indigenous Sindhi grammatical structures with mystical vocabulary and symbolic expressions. Its lexical analysis will be वञी रस वञण खे वञण पाण विञाए लोकां पाण लिकाए लिकां पुण लिकेज थो. Some are of verbs and some are causative imperatives, reflexive pronouns and passive or reflexive imperatives and pronouns. It has native Sindhi words, mostly Sindhi words. वञी रस वञण खे वञण पाण विञाए लोकां पाण लिकाए लिकियां पुण लिकेज थो. The lexicon is almost entirely of native Sindhi with no reliance on Persian or Arabic mystical terminology as we have discussed in previous bit. This simplicity gives the verse a direct oral quality while conveying complex metaphysical ideas. Shah Abdul Latif frequently employs indigenous vocabulary to express Sufi philosophy, not only to those persons who were educated or learned, but his focus was masses, and he has tried to inculcate all of these ideas among the masses so as their behavior can be changed, and change of behavior was his ultimate motto, so as the people may be transformed from a just human being to a very sophisticated man. Morphological analysis, vani root, it is derived from root van. It is simple verb. Ras, to access, rasan, it is derived from rasan. Vanyan is derived from Vanya or go, Binyai, it's causative. Morphologically, this is one of the most striking expression in Sindhi poetry. Likai, to hide, it is causative suffix, hide yourself intentionally. Leakage, the shift from active to reflexive voice reflects the movement from human effort to spiritual transformation. Then syntactic analysis. First line, Vani Rasta Vanyanake. Its structure is verb, object, literal order, go or reach, the state of going. The object is abstract rather than concrete. Second line, Vanyanapun Vinyay. Lose the going. Loka Pan Likapun, leakage to. These are the four parts of the couplet represent beautiful structure. Semantic analysis, the verse unfolds in successive semantic stages. Level 1, physical, go, reach, hide. Level 2 is psychological, abandon ego, detach from public recognition, avoid fame. Level 3 is mystical, after reaching God, erase even the awareness that you have reached. The final stage is complete annihilation of self-consciousness. Stylistic analysis, lexical repetition. One Bitai has created rhythm by this word. Van, vanyan, vanyi, vanyai, lik, likai. Parallelism is there. Journey, transcendence of journey, visibility, transcendence of visibility. The balanced syntax reinforces the thematic symmetry. Pragmatic analysis, the speech act is directive. Every clause is an imperative addressed to the seeker. Yet the commands are not literal instructions about travel or concealment. They function as indirect spiritual directives, requiring infernal interpretation rather than surface understanding. Cognitive linguistic analysis. The verse is structured and several conceptual metaphors. Spiritual and conceptual metaphors. Conceptual metaphors is life is journey, reaching is union, hiding is humility, disappearance is liberation. Spiritual interpretation is spiritual progress towards guide, mystical realization, erasure of ego and reputation, fanar annihilation. The command Vanyan Punavinya maps the concrete act of movement onto the abstract elimination of ego, illustrating how everyday verbs are extended to express metaphysical experiences. Phonological analysis, alliteration, repeated consonants, vanyana, vanyi, vanya, loka, lika, lickage. It makes assonance repeated vowel throughout the verse, contributes its own flowing cadence, making it memorable in oral retention. If we are analyzes this whole discourse, then discourse follows a four-stage progression. First is movement. Vani rasa vanyanake, vanyanaponu vinyai. Begin the journey. Realization, attain the destination, self-effacement, vanyanaponu vinyai. Abandon attachment even to the attainment. Complete concealment, disappear from worldly recognition and even from awareness of one's own spiritual status. The movement is therefore journey towards union, towards fana, towards hidden sainthood. Overall linguistic significance of this couplet is distinguished by extensive use of imperative verbs, giving the verse instructional force. Polypton, polyptoton, where the same lexical root one appears in different morphological forms, verb, infinitive, and causative, creating semantic expansion. Predominantly native Sindhi vocabulary, demonstrating Shah Latif's ability to express profound Sufi concepts without dependence on Persian or Arabic mystical terminology. Highly economical syntax in which short imperative clauses carry a layered mystical meaning through the metaphor and paradox. A discourse structure that mirrors the Sufi path from outward striving to inward annihilation or fana, culminating in perfect humility and concealment. The Bhit is therefore an outstanding example of how Shah Abdul Latif Bhitai transforms the ordinary resources of Sindhi grammar, especially verbal morphology, repetition, and imperative syntax, into a sophisticated vehicle for expressing mystical, psychological, and Sufi metaphysics. It is artistry and craftsmanship of Shah Abdul Latif Bhitai and his poetry. Thank you very much.